Happy Friday. Happy Freedom Friday. Welcome to Make It Make Sense with Monique Pressley. I'm your host, Monique Pressley, and I'm thankful that you are here at what is our 20th show. That to me is amazing and confounding. I simply cannot believe that a Friday 4 weeks ago, we made a decision to launch and launched on Monday, February 7th. And since then, we are 20 shows in. We've been here Monday through Friday at noon or close to it, like today, where we are exceedingly behind due to connection issues. But we've been here Monday through Friday with important topics, with expert guests, with subject matter and information that is critically important to our communities, to this country, and to this world. It's important for humans. And my promise to you is the one that I made from the first day, that we are dialing down all that noise, all the rhetoric, all the bickering that has become just commonplace in the places where we get our news. I didn't want that. I'm a newsie, and I still didn't want that for you. So we are offering this as a service. As a service. I'm going to hit the SOTU. Do me a favor, guys. I'm going to interrupt myself to say, if you have questions, today's that day. It's Freedom Friday, so a little bit of anything goes. Stick your question in the little camera, the little icon where the question mark is, and I will try to get to some toward the end. But yeah, our promise is that we're dialing putting that to the side and coming to you with the truth, coming to you with facts and with data. And when there is commentary, that commentary from me or from our guests will be supported by the facts and by the data. And I'm here to tell you that is what we have done every single day from February 7th till today, Friday, March 4th. Our official 1 month anniversary will be on the 7th, but this is our 20th show. This is the end of our 4th week. And I'm just thankful. I couldn't be more pleased with the caliber of people who have not thought that it was robbery. Don't I sound churchy? Not thought it robbery to come and share of their gifts and their talent and their expertise and their lessons that they've learned in career. I appreciate everything that they've shared. I hope that you've learned something from it. And all of those shows are in my Instagram feed, and they are on my public Facebook page, which is facebook.com/I am Monique Pressley. Facebook.com/I am Monique Pressley. So what we want to do is grow. And we are growing. I've got some things I'll share with you just right at the end. I've been telling you through the week some different things are coming. But if you want to support our work, you can do so at the link in my bio. It gives you options for Cash App, for business PayPal, for being a subscriber on Patreon. I have stuck the pinned tweet today is the Cash App, which is $MoPress. The PayPal is business PayPal / Monique Pressley Enterprises LLC, I think. Something like that, but it's in the link. And then the Patreon / Monique Pressley is also in the link, because while this service is free to you, it's not free to us. We've got stellar, and I know she's watching right now, booking producer who is thebomb.com. Guys, have we not had some of the best people as guests in this last 30 days? Just amazing, amazing. So we owe my team for that. We've got editors, we've got graphics people, we've got strategists, you name it, it's happening, so that we can really be a purpose-driven operation that keeps our eye on the ball. And the ball for me is providing the service of information and inspiration to you. My favorite mentor from afar, who I've talked about a number of times, Bob Proctor, who recently transitioned onto his next phase in the journey. I didn't think he was ever going anywhere, so I was shocked He was 89 years old, but I was still shocked. But one of the things that he said all the time was that if you are interested in making money, provide a service. Work is not how you make your money. You work doing what you love. You make your money providing service, being indispensable. And this is service. It also, though, happens to be what I love. So it is the best of both worlds. I feel passionate about it and so much peace. And so I hope that you will continue to join us to share the shows, the full shows that I've posted. Share them in your stories, please, so more people can know about it, right? We're providing a service. So I want to serve as many people as possible. Help me help others by sharing the information. As one of my favorite spiritual fathers says all the time, Bishop Jake says, don't just come, sit in the church and belch and go home. So don't do that here. Even if you don't have the ability to give monetarily, which I hope you do because every dollar counts. But even if you don't, you can share with a click and you can change somebody's life. Just this past week, we're doing week in review. I'm going to do hot topics, but I want to at least first tell you what happened this week if you missed any of it. Monday, we talked about Ukraine and the ongoing invasion by Russia. We are praying for everybody in the Ukraine, and we certainly are hopeful that this conflict, this war ends soon. But we had Terrell J. Starr, who is an independent journalist who is on the ground in Ukraine, and he came to us minutes after missiles had dropped at a base near where he was. Like he and his friends, he told us the story. They were on their way to the base, and one of them forgot something and had to double back. And while they were doubled back, the base was bombed by missiles. Thankfully, no one died there, but people were injured. He checked on the injured, he reported from the scene, and then he got to a safe place and still honored his commitment and came on the live with us because he said he cares about making sure that our folks know that this is important to everybody. It's not just important to them way over there in a country that we've never been to and may never go to, but it matters to us. So I hope you would please watch that. Tuesday, we had Know Your Rights and Stay Alive. That was Wednesday. Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey was here. And man, I would say this about any show though. If there was one show that you should share, it would be this one. But that's not true. It would be all of them. But this certainly, the information that was provided, and we went through scenarios. If you are stopped by a police officer on foot publicly on the street, if you are pulled over in your car, if the police show up at your home, and we pointed out between her and I the difference between what the law is, what your rights are, and what you may need to do, swallowing your pride, eating humble crow, whatever it is, so that you can go home safe that night. So that's Tuesday, and that is posted. So go ahead and get that. Wednesday, for all my sisters, hey girl, hey, it is, I was about to say Black Women's Month. It is, it's all women's month, but it's Black Women's Month. We talked about Black women's health, generally, Black women's maternal health, Black women's menopausal, perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal health with an expert, OBGYN, Dr. Sharon Malone. She was one of the founding partners of Foxhall OBGYN in the District of Columbia, and now is medical director of an organization called Alloy, which specializes in providing information and care for women who may not be able to typically get those services. She is the wife of our former United States Attorney General, the first Black United States Attorney General, Eric Holder, and she is bad to the bone. She was with us and shared with us things we need to know about why the health outcomes are poorer for Black women, what we can do about it, like what we can do ourselves, the kind of care we need to look for. And I shared a couple of personal testimonies about what having quality medical care meant to me I don't know what just happened. I told y'all my Wi-Fi is going crazy. You guys got to see my skyline though. That was nice. What it meant to me to have quality health care, to have a good doctor. And she saved my life more than once. She saved my life. She saved the quality of my life. So I'm seeing some questions still flashing, guys. Don't flash me questions. I need you to put the questions in the question icon. Okay? And then I'm going to try to get to them at the end. Let me see if because I have Instagram going on, it might be because I still have D-Nice on the down low on my phone. Might be making it a little quirky because I had it over to the side in case I wanted to play us some music at the end, but I might be trying to do too much. So that was Wednesday. Yesterday, another big day. We had the focus on voting. I'm going to try to do that. If I can't do it every week, I'm going to try to do it every other week. Oh, see, smart people in here are telling me that's why. Is that why I was on the blink? Because one at a time. Thank you. Thank you. You cannot win, Darth. Thank you. I was trying to do too much. Y'all know I'm new. Okay. You have to kind of grow with me. Yesterday we had from When We All Vote, the organization that was founded by our forever ever FLOTUS. And I love First Lady Biden. I love First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. Don't go there. But my forever ever FLOTUS, First Lady Michelle Obama, founded in 2018, the organization When We All Vote. It's a nonprofit focused on getting as many people registered, bringing them to the polls as possible, closing the gaps, right? Because the numbers of young people who are voting still are not on par with other age sectors. We had the executive director of When We All Vote, Stephanie L. Young. That was yesterday, and it is posted. And I'm just thankful, even in that, When We All Vote has shared the information and liked the tweet about it where I posted it on Twitter. Same thing for Terrell Starr and for Sergeant Dorsey, so many others who are helping us to get the word out about what we are doing here. So that was just this week. I almost can't remember way back where we started. We've had Attorney Ben Crump on here 3 times talking about the police misconduct cases and giving us updates on that. We'll try to get another update about it. We had Deborah Owens, wealth coach, talking about the way to get your money straight, y'all. Grow it, keep it, save it, give it. Get your money, right? Get wealthy. We had her. Just go back through the feed. You'll have to just trust me on this. For those of you who are in there, throw some hearts on the screen if you have been helped in the past 20 shows, because today is our 20th show. So that was what we covered this week. But while we were covering Ukraine and knowing your rights so you can stay alive and Black women's health and When We All Vote, a lot of other things were going on, such as, I've already seen a question in here, the State of the Union. State of the Union happened a few days ago. Did you guys watch it? Did you watch? This was President Biden's first State of the Union message. And he started with the war in Ukraine and what the United States response has been to that, the things that we were doing before the war started, the steps we took in sharing the intelligence that we were getting about it, and we meaning the executive branch of government that has the spies, right? The intelligence that they were collecting and then shared, declassified and shared with the world. And they did that intentionally so that Putin couldn't come up with some trumped up charges, some way to justify his heinous activities. Then he talked about the steps we're taking now to seize the assets of oligarchs who have profited off of the tyranny of Putin's regime, and the next steps that we're trying to take in order to assist and help the Ukrainian people. And the fact that the NATO alliance, which pretty much was disassembled, under the prior administration, because our prior president was threatening to pull us out of NATO, alienated our allies, cozied up to our enemies, hot mess, right? And so President Biden had a lot of work to do in order to just get us back, never mind in leadership, but in good standing where they could trust us again. So to see it go from that to him coming and again asserting our authority as a global leader and bringing all the other countries who are a member of NATO, of the National Alliance, together to stand against this attack on democracy. Because if you attack democracy in one place, you're attacking it in every place. So it matters, it matters, it matters. Go look at Terrell's, my interview of Terrell, to have a better understanding of all the different ways that it matters. But, okay. Okay, I'm going to interrupt myself again. Are my messages coming through? I see what you're saying about being deaf. Are my messages coming through with the subtitles? Like when you're on the live, are you able to see subtitles? Tell me if you are or if you are not. Because what I know for sure is when I download the message and post it in my feed, which I'll do with this message a little later today, I include the subtitles because I understand that people have hearing limitations or challenges or cannot hear at all, such as yourself. And also people go through their feeds and don't have the sound on. That apparently is the new way to go through Instagram. Who does that? Me. I do that. So if the subtitles are there, then you will at least know everything that is being said between me and the guest. So I make sure that is included in my messaging. So State of the Union wasn't without controversy. It wasn't. I'm not saying that I had issues with it. I discussed it. I discussed it and gave my opinions about it on Roland Martin's show earlier this week when there was a recap of what was going on in the State of the Union. You should find that Wednesday night's show, Roland Martin Unfiltered. I dare say you'll be amused, entertained, provoked to act even, maybe. But, you know, a little bit of salty mo shows up there for my legal analysis when necessary. I don't do that here because we're just giving you the straightforward facts. You know, I'm not really bringing on a whole bunch of drama, so it's a different situation. But anyway, I want to just give you, did you see? Did you see? It was entertaining, wasn't it? Let's just play a little bit of the State of the Union and then I'll get right back with you.
Prevention and community policing, cops who walk the beat, who know the neighborhood, and who can restore trust and safety. Let's not abandon our streets or choose between safety and equal justice. Let's come together and protect our communities, restore trust, and hold law enforcement accountable. That's why the Justice Department has required body cameras, banned chokeholds, and restricted no-knock warrants for its officers. That's why the American Rescue Plan that you all provided $350 billion that cities, states, and counties can use to hire more police, invest in more proven strategies. Proven strategies like community violence interruption, trusted messengers, breaking the cycle of violence and trauma, and giving young people some hope. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training. Resources and training they need to protect our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe. And we'll do everything in my power to crack down on gun trafficking, of ghost guns that you can buy online, assemble at home, no serial numbers, can't be traced. I ask Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun violence. Pass universal background checks. Why should anyone on the terrorist list be able to purchase a weapon? Why? Why? Well, folks, ban assault weapons with high-capacity magazines hold up to 100 rounds. You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? Look, repeal the liability shield. It makes gun manufacturers the only industry in America that can't be sued. The only one. Imagine had we done that with the tobacco manufacturers. These laws don't infringe on the Second Amendment. They save lives. The most fundamental right in America is the right to vote and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed. Not only to suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the entire election. You can't have violence. Pass universal background checks. Why?
Alrighty then. Thoughts? You can stick your comments in the question mark. I can read comments there too. So many obviously had a problem, especially those who support the defund the police movement, had a problem with President Biden saying, no, don't defund the police. That's not the answer. Fund the police. That's the answer. Had a problem with that. And I get it. I understand why people would, who have a certain train of thought about why we have had the problems that we've had and why officers have been killing people and why it's disproportionately our folks who end up dead. I get it. I also understand the other side of it as someone who has worked within the system and knows that proper training is necessary, that better hiring of police is necessary, that guns coming off the street and community policing is necessary. So, and all those things cost money, right? The body cams that without which we wouldn't be able to catch half of the criminal cops in the act that we have. All of that is an expenditure as well. So it really, these matters are nuanced. There's no quick answers. There's no one-stop shopping on solutions. And the same is true for voting rights. You heard the little blurb that he said at the end. What he actually said was not much longer than that, but it was calling for the passage of the two major pieces of legislation that will secure and protect our voting rights. And we talked about that. If you want to go back and look at my interview with Cliff Albright, who's executive director of Black Voters Matter, that was the first Thursday of the full week of shows. So that's 7th, 8th, 9th. That should be the 10th. Go back and look at the show posted for February 10th. Cliff Albright, Executive Director, Black Voters Matter Fund. And we talk about that in detail. So it's been covered. And certainly that legislation needs to pass. But in the absence of the legislation, because the Congress right now, the president just doesn't have the votes. In the absence of that, we've got to stay on the ground and make our voice count. And, understand for ourselves what is necessary and do what is necessary. And that's part of what Jaquan might not want to tell y'all on here. I know he's on here and he saw it, but that's part of what I discussed on Roland show on Wednesday night, that we have the power. And I'm not going to let anybody else decapitate me. I'm not going to be rendered powerless in my thoughts because they're trying to control our actions. I'm not going to let them shut my mouth because they're trying to keep us away from the polls. We, by the numbers, by the economy, by the education, by influence, by trends, by culture, we have the power. And it's just a question of whether we utilize it in an effective manner so that we can get our way at the polls and then have the control we need in the Senate to get legislation passed. 50-50 plus the VP is not going to get it. Some things require 60 votes. Where are the other 10? Come on, y'all. You all who have Senate races coming up, we need you. We need you to activate. And we're going to talk about that. It's one of the things we're going to talk about next week. We've talked about it some, but we're going to talk about it again. But so, that was SCOTUS. That was State of the Union, rather. And up next is SCOTUS. I wanted to just give you an update on our nominee. For those of you who've been under a rock, the first Black woman Supreme Court Justice is about to ascend to the highest court on the land. Her name is Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is currently sitting on one of the most prestigious courts, probably second to the Supreme Court, one of the most prestigious courts, the most prestigious court, second to the Supreme Court, U.S. Court of Appeals, D.C. And she's stellar in every way. She started out as a public defender. She's worked in private practice. She's worked as heading the Sentencing Commission. She's been a judge, a circuit court judge, and an appellate judge, district judge, appellate judge. She is Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law, and she's been on the right side of lots of issues throughout the entirety of her career. And you know, when we are that stellar, and when we've already been through, because she's been confirmed 3 times now by the Senate for 3 different positions. So there aren't a lot of variables, there aren't a lot of unknowns. They've probably been digging and digging and digging and can't find the skeletons. And then what do you know? We end up, because of lack of anything else to find, with the Birther 2.0 argument from our dear, dear demonic enemies at Fox News. And I am usually loath to give any space, any voice, any breath, any time to the absurdities, the insults, the racism, the yellow journalism, all of the manipulation, the lies that come from that network, or more specifically from the likes of Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, and I used to regularly, back when they were pseudo-sane, appear on Laura's show, Tucker's show. But we watched this week the churning out of some theories about ways that they can possibly attack Justice, soon to be Justice Jackson. And after the State of the Union, I'm gonna go ahead and play for you what we got from Tuck.
So it might be time for Joe Biden to let us know what Ketanji Brown Jackson's LSAT score was. What the hell did she do in the LSAT? Why wouldn't he tell us that? That would settle the question conclusively as to whether she's a once-in-a-generation legal talent, the next learned hand. It would seem like Americans in a democracy have a right to know that and much more before giving her a lifetime appointment, but we didn't hear that. And that was just one of many things that Joe Biden... So it might be time for Joe Biden to let us know what Ketanji Brown Jackson's LSAT score was.
What was her
LSAT? Why wouldn't he tell us that? That would settle the question conclusively as to whether she's a once-in-a-generation legal talent, the next learned hand. It would seem like Americans in a democracy have a right to know that and much more before giving her a lifetime appointment, but we didn't hear that. And that was just one of many things that Joe Biden... So it might be time...
It might be time for Joe Biden to let us know what her LSAT scores were. What'd she make on the LSAT? I mean, this is a democracy. We need to know. Now, I know, as I'm here, being most entitled man on the planet, that the LSAT is what you use. It's an entrance exam for you to get into law school. So Judge Ketanji, you heard him say Ketanji? Not an accident. that Judge Jackson was Harvard undergrad and that she took the LSAT and it was good enough for her to get into Harvard Law and to then graduate with honors. I know that, but I want her LSAT. I want the long form birth certificate. That's what I want, because, you know, if they're the best, then prove it with other things. Prove it with things other than their educational acumen and their stellar careers and their accomplishments and their character and their integrity. Can we get the LSAT score, please? Because this is a democracy. In my feed, gosh, wish I could pull it up for you. I wish I could pull it up for you. I've said to Tucker Carlson's face everything that I could ever possibly want to say to him about him conducting himself in this manner. So I'm going to go in my feed and I'm going to look for it and I'm going to put it up near the top, just kind of as an annual reminder that we see him. But no, we do not need her LSAT. And I see some of y'all, I see all the lawyers in here. My LSAT was in the 98th percentile. That don't mean I'm smarter or dumber than any other lawyer. I tested well, and then I did well in law school. And there are people who test poorly and do well. There are people who test well and do poorly. There are people who test poorly and do poorly and then become the best and the brightest lawyers. There are people who test well and score well academically and are low morons. I could name names, but I won't. So enough already. Enough. Yes, that's just more of the gaslighting. But the reason why I bring it to your attention is because this Black woman is up against a mountain of people who are going to do things like this. She is up against a legion, and I mean it like a biblical legion, like wickedness in high places of people who desire to just dress her down, to scuttle her, to muddy her up for the sake of doing it, because they know that she is going to be confirmed because we've got the votes. So what can they do in order to disgrace the nomination? What can they do to, as they already started trying to say, put an asterisk by her name? Well, what did Amy Coney Barrett make on the LSAT since LSATs matter? What did Kavanaugh get on the LSAT since you care so much? Tut. Because Amy Coney Barrett hadn't even had a trial. I mean, she's probably on the bench trying to learn evidence right now. She hadn't talked about matters that relate to hearing cases since she was in law school. So now we care. And Kavanaugh was confirmed after collapsing in a puddle of tears, literal tears, because he was credibly charged with assault. But now we want LSAT scores. That's what we want. Be vigilant. Speak up. Speak out. These things matter. We don't have to elevate his platform or glorify it or give it any credence to recognize that these kinds of attacks deserve a response, and that we should instead be elevating the quality nominee that she is. So yes, she will rise. She will rise. And she will not rise bloodied on my watch. So that's that. What else is there? This week, Governor DeSantis is now the resident bully. Did you guys see that? Did you see that clip? I don't have it for you. My Wi-Fi was, as I said, acting up. I was going to give you that clip too. But y'all saw that? Y'all saw him walking in, supposedly visiting a school, supposed to be like a person who is an authority figure that children can look up to. And there's some boys, some young men behind him wearing masks. And he gets pissed off and he's like, hey, first of all, you don't need to wear those. Just take those off. Just take those off. Ooh, I wish he would with any one of my children. Y'all would be collecting my bail money right now. Y'all would be, this would be a GoFundMe. Y'all would be talking about how I can't do my live from the jail. That's just that. That's that on that. So this is what we're dealing with. The Marco Rubios of the world. There's a perfectly stellar candidate running against Marco Rubio. He needs to be out. DeSantis, again, what was his LSAT score? Just asking. Okay, I'm so completely out of time. But I do have one more thing. Oh, there was entertainment news, just real quick. Will Smith won his first SAG Award. I was excited about that for King Richard. That's what I said. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Y'all saying no jail for you. I understand. I don't want to go to jail. I want to be right here with y'all. But that's what I'm saying. It couldn't have been my kids. The Lord looked out for me. That he is not the governor any place where my children would be standing back there with their mask on, because I would be saying to them, you better not be going anywhere without your mask, because people are going around here without their vaccines. I see y'all in there talking about catch these hands. You don't want to mess with mamas. And black mamas is a double no. Freedom Friday. Will Smith, congratulations. Congratulations, Fresh Prince. Is a big, big month for him. His memoir, Will, is out. Bel Air, which he executive produced, it just started, is doing well. He won his first SAG Award for King Richard, which means all the Oscar buzz. Yay, go Will, go Will. Our king, our legend, Harry Belafonte, celebrated his 95th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Go King B. And last thing that I want to talk about, which maybe for those of you who are on Twitter, can you guys do me a favor? Tag Roland Martin right now, in case he's somewhere roaming around on these Instagram streets, because I'm talking about him. I'm about to be talking about him. I want him to know I'm about to be talking about him. I'm about to be talking about him and Dan Abrams. That's what I'm going to do from my last 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Because y'all can go on Twitter if you want to know my full thoughts. Somebody tag him. Somebody tag him. Come on, y'all. Tag him. Bother him. I'm sure he's trying to get ready for a show. Bother him anyway. Just so he'll know when he watches that we were talking about him. Let me text him. Let's see. Send him a text. Freedom Friday. Okay. So, and again, my theme with this, because God knows, I try my best not to be petty. And so this is not petty, but I am calling attention to something. Oh, there he is. We'll talk about it together. See how y'all called him? If you call him, then he'll come. Hi, Roland Martin. I was just explaining to them that I try my best weekdays at noon to not be petty. And this is not me being petty either. please request to join Roland Martin so we can talk to you. But Roland, who you guys know, has a show, Roland Martin Unfiltered, Black Star Network, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and has covered any number of times the subject matter we just discussed, the issue with defunding the police, and has had people from both sides of the spectrum and from the middle of the spectrum who have weighed in on that issue. I'm gonna try to request him, y'all. He's on a call. He just texted me and said he's on a call, so he might not be able to, just in case. But he, on his show, has had people who believe we need more police. Our community wants the police. The numbers support the fact that when they're in trouble, they call the police, especially in urban areas. He's had people on the other side who are saying, get rid of all of them. The system is broken. We don't need policing. Our communities, we can police ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. All they do is kill us. He's had those perspectives. He's had people in the middle. Me, I'm the middle. I'm the moderate on this topic, who have said it's nuanced. We need less of this. We may need more of this. And on some of it, we just need to keep talking and figure out what the data has. And he has said himself any number of times, if they're breaking the law, if they're assaulting people, if they're killing people, if they are not wearing their body cams, get rid of them. You know, he said those things. But after the State of the Union, he was asked to come on Dan Abrams' show. I don't know the name of the show because I don't watch the show, but y'all know who Dan Abrams is probably. He, at one point, he still is a big to-do at ABC. He at one point was running MSNBC. He owns Mediaite, however you pronounce it, the big news mag. That's him. And he has a show, Newser on something like that, whatever. If you go to Roland's feed, you will see his posts about the appearance yesterday. In essence, what happened is they sent out the truck there, and Roland had posted when he was getting ready to go get in the truck, he rushed home from his own show to appear on this show to talk about the issue of defunding the police and what it means in the Black community. And it's like a okie doke. It's like a setup. They send the truck out there for him to get into. You'll see the play-by-play and the blow-by-blow, okay? But fast forward, what apparently ends up happening is that they've decided to try to make Roland Martin, the journalist, whom a capillion of us know, into their boogeyman, who is saying something nonsensical, absurd, crazy. Those are the things Dan Abrams was calling it, who was saying defund, all police should be fired. All police should be prosecuted. Every policeman should be fired. Every police should be prosecuted. And showed tweets about it. You texted me, but I need you to come on here, Roland Martin. I'm gonna request him again, just see what happens. Okay. So I just want to show you guys you need to go back and look at the video, but I want to show you guys the tweets of Roland's that either Dan Abrams or his producers, but let's just call it Dan Abrams because the buck stops with him, showed last night. Let me give you the first one. Hey, Queen Tamika Mallory. God bless you. God bless your life. I love you forever and ever and ever. Can you guys throw some hearts on the screen for the Queen of Until Freedom, who's on the front lines for us all the time, Tamika D. Mallory? Recognize the Queen. The Queen is in the room. So Dan Abrams shows this, saying, this is Roland's tweet. from February 22nd, 5:05 p.m. You see how the date and the time are obvious? He shows this and says, but what's going on with you, guy? I mean, you're tweeting things like every cop should be fired. That's what you're tweeting, saying every cop should be fired. And then he shows another one. Let me give you the other one. He says, you're showing things like this. Every cop should be prosecuted for murder. What's going on, guy? This is crazy talk. And so Roland is responding and saying, but what was the context? Every cop should be fired for work. For what? Every cop should be prosecuted for what? You got to tell me the context. And Dan Abrams says, what do you mean? There is no context. That's your original tweet. That's it. That's what you said. And Roland, like me, immediately, when he first sent me the text by itself like that, I'm like, okay, but what was this in response to? Because anybody who follows him the way Dan Abrams says he's been following his career, they grew up in media together and he has all this respect for him and blah, 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 blah. Anybody would know that that's not Roland's end game. He has never given a point blank statement like that, no matter how critical he has been of the police. So if you follow, you would know. But we saw those. Roland says he's going to be with us in 10 minutes. I'll keep talking. I got plenty to say. So we saw those, and Roland keeps talking, and he goes back and forth, and he said, but they're killing us without warrants. They are killing us within 16 seconds when when it's, a mental crisis. And they call for assistance. They call 911, and in 16 seconds they're ending up dead. We have seen disproportionately our people getting killed. So they do that back and forth. But then here comes Dan talking about, yeah, my guy, yeah, but I gotta come back to your tweets, man. Your tweets, because in your tweets you said defunding you said every cop should be fired. And in your tweets, you said every cop should be prosecuted for murder. That's what you said. And he said, it wouldn't be a big deal except for you're important. You've got a big voice in this country. You're a longtime journalist. You have a huge following and a huge platform. You matter. So when you say something like this, people pay attention. And it's scary for you to say something like every cop should be prosecuted and every cop should be fired. And so Roland says, I'm in this van, and I'm in this damn van. He didn't say damn. I'm adding the damn. I'm in this van. I don't have a monitor. I can't see it. So I don't know the context. Y'all remember the tweets, right? So after Roland gets out of the segment, one of his followers sends him for the first tweet the context, because it was a quote tweet. Can y'all see this? So y'all remember how on the show, it was just on Dan's show, when he presented the hardest working Black man in America with his own tweet, it said every cop should be fired. He was talking about Juzaima Goldring, who was walking in Atlanta with her friends when police officers arrested her for jaywalking and claimed there was cocaine inside her stress ball, and they were wrong, according to a federal judge. She spent 5 months in jail, over 150 days of her life. And now they say she's due $1.5 million, but money can't fix the time that you were lost. Thank God she's not dead. Thank God the encounter didn't turn into her ending up dead. Praise God for that. But can they just pluck us off the street under pretext for jaywalking and say that in her stress ball, which is weighted with sand, that it's cocaine instead, and then jail her? And then I don't know what the circumstances were, whether she couldn't afford bail, because they have, we're trying to get rid of these paid bail where the people who are poor stay in, the people who have money can get out. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if they held her for some other reason, but she spent 5 months of her life. The girl was already carrying a stress ball, which means she was already experiencing anxiety, like the rest of us in this pandemic. 5 months in jail in a pandemic. He said every cop should be fired. Do y'all know what a quote tweet is? Y'all know what a quote tweet is? Because apparently Dan Abrams doesn't. Can y'all go on Twitter and tag him and explain to him what a quote tweet is? Because when you quote the tweet, you are referencing, embedding, encapsulating the action of the tweet. Let me put up the other one real quick because I see Roland Martin is in the room. Can y'all see this? This is the second one. Every cop should be prosecuted. It was in reference to Amir Locke, who was shot on a no-knock warrant when he wasn't even the intended target, when he was under his blanket, and they came in the middle of the night, and he apparently reached for his gun that he had a license for because he thought there was an intruder, and they shot and killed him at 22 years old. Roland said every one of those cops should be prosecuted. And they left off the quote tweet. They made it look like all he was saying is every cop, like every cop in America. And to make it even worse, when Roland discovers, and I sent him this myself, I found the context, but when he discovers and points out the error of Dan Abrams' ways, we can find out from Roland what happens next. I'm accepting his request. Let's see. Welcome to Make It Make Sense. I'm trying to make sense out of Dan Abrams.
You can't make it make sense.
And if we can't, you know what? If we can't make it make sense, we're gonna make it hurt. Because the only sense that I can make of it, Roland, is that you were an intended target and they had decided that they needed somebody to represent the boogeyman on the side of defund the police, and they looked for the most widest following, loudest vocal voice of our community and trying to make you the scapegoat for every freaking thing that the defund movement has ever said, and they got the wrong one. Is it something I'm missing?
Yeah, that's it. It was very interesting. I hate dirty lenses. Sorry. It was very interesting. Right before we went on the air, like literally, let me say right before, they said, hey, we're characterizing you as being a major supporter of the defund the police movement. And I said, no, that's actually not accurate. I said, I've covered the movement. I've interviewed many of the people who are in the movement. So I can speak from that perspective. I said, so I wouldn't call me that. They were like, well, and like I'm talking about, we're 20 seconds away. Now, mind you, I went on around 9:30, 9:35. We had a pre-call with the producer at 2 p.m. So you trying to figure out what to call me 7 hours late?
Oh, none of this came up.
No. during the and so people need to understand in television for those shows, I don't do these because I personally think it's cheating. So what they do is they do a thing called pre-interview. So what they do is they call the subject to ask the subject a series of questions, and they get their perspective on these issues. What they then do is they type the notes up and then hand it to the anchor. So the anchor knows essentially all of my viewpoints, talking points, and perspectives before the segment. Now, when I filled in for Campbell Brown on CNN, I would not read those. They would walk in and hand them to me. I said, this is bullshit. I personally consider it to be cheating. Because
it's like it's staged.
Yes, precisely. So yeah. And so I didn't want to do this one. My publicist, Tasha, had set this up. They insisted, okay, fine, I'll do it. But y'all, normally I don't do it. And a lot of times I give wrong answers in the pre-interview for that very reason. So I was like, all right, fine. You know what? Okay, this is Dan Abrams. I know Dan. I know his work. Okay, that's all good.
We all know Dan.
So I was like, okay, fine. I was like, okay, fine, no big deal. And so that was it. At no point did they mention in the pre-interview with regards to my tweets, nothing at all. And so that's why, folks, if y'all look at the video, he literally opens his segment about the tweets. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So if you watch the video, he referenced it, and y'all just go to my Instagram page, my Twitter page. I put it on my platforms. I sort of, okay, I don't have the tweets in front of me. I can't, and y'all gotta understand. And I posted the photos. Y'all will see the photos in the video. I'm sitting in a chair in a mobile van. The van is parked in my garage. It's parked in my driveway. So I'm sitting there. It's a monitor behind me. It's a Sony robotic camera in front of me. There's 2 lights here, 1 light here. There's no monitor. So there's no return. There's no return video. So I can't actually see him. I'm not worried about that, y'all, because Bill O'Reilly showed you the exact same thing. So I am, look, y'all, I'm a pro. I am used to listening to the conversation, looking to the camera. I don't need a monitor. Now, for those of you who don't understand television, normally, if you're going to reference something for the guests they have to see, you alert them in advance, hey, we're going to be showing some video. We're going to be showing an on-screen graphic for you to take a look at. They never did any of that.
I've even had them hand me a paper copy before.
Yes.
Because I couldn't see anything on the screen.
Yes. They could have sent me a PDF. They could have sent me an email, said, hey, we're going to reference these in the segment. You're not going to be able to see it. So, again, y'all, this ain't my first rodeo. I did Lawrence O'Donnell's show, the only time I did Lawrence O'Donnell's show, from that same mobile truck parked in my front yard. So this ain't my first time. So this is what you're dealing with. So he throws it out. And so then, if anybody watched the video, I say very clearly, and they should be fired for what? Knowing full well, y'all, you cannot, this is very simple, y'all. You see, I've sent out, I don't know what, 20,000 tweets, 30,000 tweets. I don't know what the hell the number is. I don't have my other phone. And you cannot find me just sending out a tweet, fire these cops, without there being any context. It doesn't exist.
Well, no, I mean, that he claimed that he followed you for years. Y'all grew up in media, all this, which is what I was telling people before you came on. And I'm like, if that's true, then he would have known. I have been a parent on some show since 2014. You ain't never, ever said some blanket, get rid of all cops. It does not exist. So the minute you showed that to me, I was like, oh, okay, well, what was that about?
And y'all listen, this is real simple. I follow Dan Abrams. He don't follow me. So you got that. So the thing that's also hilarious about this whole thing is I stayed on the segment. Fired for what? Dan,
Yeah.
what's the context? He goes, there was none.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And he literally says that it was a standalone. He said it was an original tweet. Y'all, I know that wasn't. Now the problem is this here. The problem is I don't have it in front of me, so I can't actually reference it. Shit, I can't tell you the tweet I responded to yesterday because I probably sent 50 in the last 24 hours. But it's easy to pull up. Then in his tweet, he goes, well, I didn't have the date in front of me. The date is time-stamped on the tweet. It's like...
The date and the time.
It's like at the bottom, it says one was February 22nd, one was February 4th. So, so they were... So, yes, his motive, and let me explain so people understand. Again, ain't first rodeo. The motive of the segment was to criticize and trash the defund the police movement. They thought they had a target. So what the producers did was they cut off the bottom of my tweet to feed their narrative. Y'all need to understand, this is a classic Fox News move. I remember when I was booked to do, Megyn Kelly's show. Now, Fox News banned me. They would not book me. When they fired Roger Ailes, because Megyn Kelly told me this story, so I need y'all to listen. I went to Fox News. We were getting off the elevator, and Megyn was like, so glad to have you. When the Ailes stuff happened, they were trying to do whatever they can to make her happy. And they're like, so what can we do? She's like, I want Roland Martin on my show. So the only reason y'all saw me on Megyn Kelly's show in 2016, and I did it probably 4 or 5 times, was because Ailes had gotten fired and they were trying to make her happy. And so her way of like, okay, I'm going to put it to y'all, I want Roland Martin on my show. Megyn Kelly told me that out of her own mouth, standing at the elevator with Kara Kaplan, the producer, standing right next to me. So the move, again, so when I did Megyn's show, I did it when I was on from DC. I sit in a chair, the producer gets in my ear and goes, hey, we need you to agree with this Hillary Clinton position. And I went, I don't. I said, I don't. I really, can you do this for me? Y'all, listen, the producer literally did this. We are seconds from going on the air. They needed to set up, Roland agrees with Hillary. This person says Hillary is wrong, confrontation.
That's what they, polar opposites.
Y'all, that's what they needed. They literally asked me right before we went on to take that position. So what I did was, and if y'all actually saw the segment, I answered it and then pivoted because it was my position.
Right.
I actually thought Hillary Clinton was wrong, but whatever it was, I thought she was wrong, and then I moved on to something else. But that was, so y'all gotta understand, this is what they do. Now, how do I work? I don't do pre-interviews. I don't force you to take a position. In fact, I got in trouble at CNN because y'all gotta understand. 2009, I filled in for Campbell Brown for 2 months. It was a Monday. We're discussing the embargo of Cuba. I specifically told the CNN producers to book me 2 guests, one who agreed with the embargo, one who disagreed with the embargo. We come on the air. I'm standing up in front of the monitor, and I have 2 guests who say keep the embargo going. I'm like, this is bullshit. I say, guys, look, let's just be clear. The embargo has failed. It has not worked. I get an email that night from John Klein, the president of CNN US, telling me I am not to be giving my opinions on the show. Because remember, her show was called No Bias, No Bull. Kim Brown, No Bias, No Bull. So why you got a person who gives opinion hosting the show? I can't give my opinion. And here's the deal. I would not have had to give my opinion had the damn producers actually did what I told them to do. They ain't do that. So I'm saying all that to y'all. And in fact, that's what led to this whole back and forth. And that's why that was one of those miserable experiences in my 6 years at CNN, because they did not allow me to do what I do. And in fact, when it was over, I completely wanted out of New York. I didn't want to see those people. And it was in September when Jim Walton, who was the worldwide CEO, had a meeting with him in Atlanta. He personally, listen to y'all, he personally apologized to me. He said, quote, "We did you no favors putting you in that position." And said,
trying to make you something that you're not.
Right. And he said, though, he said, "We have presented you for 2 years to the public. And we presented something that was totally different." He said, "I want you to know that the ratings that happened with that show will not be held against you in this company." Well, that wasn't true. It was held against me in the company. It was held against me in the industry. And there's no doubt. And I saw people who were guests on my shows on CNN become hosts over at MSNBC. And no one ever called me. So I knew what the game was. So I'm laying all that out for everybody to understand. Game recognized game. I saw the whole thing. Soon as the segment was over, I told the producers, that was bullshit. Y'all did not give me the tweets ahead of time and had no idea. Oh, well, you're sorry about that. Because now when it ended, the person in my ear went, "Oh my God, that was a great segment." Because y'all gotta understand, that's all they wanted. They wanted the and here's the deal. Dan could have showed my entire tweet and still took his position. So my problem is not Dan's position on fund the police and then mine. My problem is they grossly misrepresented the conversation. They misrepresented the tweets in order to shade it in their favor, and that's where they messed up. And Dan,
it was manipulative. It was
that's all it was.
It was unscrupulous. But we got 6 minutes. I want to know, because they don't know yet. When you confronted openly, I know Tasha did it privately, maybe you did it publicly on Twitter and said he owes an apology. What was King Abrams' response?
Oh, he doubled down. Well, your tweet wasn't unambiguous. Like, the hell you talking about? So he doubled down. Then this morning, he triples down. Okay, he's quadrupled down. And so let me explain y'all what he's trying to do. So he doesn't want to throw his own team under the bus. One, that's a big mistake. You don't have to throw your team under the bus. And for people have to understand, when you're the host, everybody sees you. They don't see that producer, that editor, that PA, that AP. I used to get pissed at my staff at TV1 when they screwed up. "Man, why you yelling and cursing?" I said, "Because don't nobody tweet your ass. Don't nobody know your ass exists." Y'all watch Roland Martin Unfiltered. When something happens and the video don't play or there's a screw up, y'all ain't going, I wonder who in the control room. No, y'all like, "Damn, Roland, get your shit together." So we are the face when something happens. Now, that's great because money comes with that, prestige comes with that, recognition comes with that, but also responsibility comes with that. And so all Dan had to do, and y'all, do y'all know how simple this is? Dan could have ended this
Immediately.
10 minutes when the show was over. All Dan had to say is, "You know what, Roland? I didn't have the full tweets. You're right. We should have done that. I'm going to correct it tomorrow." That's all he had to say. Y'all, that's all he had to say.
But instead, he's saying that the tweet still stands alone. He's saying that instead of saying every cop, you should have said these cops, if that's what you meant, as if we don't know what a quote tweet is. And so now, that's what I've been trying to tell people. You got the likes of Tiffany Cross, Mark Lamont Hill, Ellie Mistal, Adam Serwer. I have done a tweet string. Like, I sat in the carpool line and tweeted until my fingers got tired.
But here's the funny part.
He's gaslighting.
If y'all really want to laugh, here's the funny part. Dan Abrams owns Mediaite. He owns Law and Crime. Y'all want to laugh? Mediaite writes stories like this when Fox News does this. And here's the crazy thing. Sorry, somebody just tried to call me.
You froze.
No, somebody
there you go.
tried to call me.
Yeah.
Mediaite has stories with quote tweets. I posted one on Cawthorn out of North Carolina. So his own site has written stories using quote tweets from other people. So this is arrogance in that I cannot admit. And look, y'all, I know where Dan is. I've been there. I have said stuff and written stuff and absolutely defended my position. People have said, you wrong, you arrogant, but here's the difference. I was defending my opinion. He is defending something, a falsehood, where he is factually incorrect. Wrong. It is like there's no ambiguity. I have presented the evidence. You showed this and called it an original tweet. Here's the truth. Here's the second tweet you posted. Here's the truth. Boom. And in the face of evidence, he is literally like Donald Trump. No, I won. No, I won. No, you didn't. You lied. And he's unwilling to own up to what he did. So, you know what? It's laughable. It's laughable. So I just sit here and I'm like, dude. And so, then he tweets and Cliff Albright, Black Voters Matter, comes on. It's like, hold up. So you want Roland to come on to clear it up? He already cleared it up. Like, it's what clear. The hell I got to clear up?
Ain't nothing to clear up.
But these are the games.
But you know what? We'll all be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be tuned in. You guys should be thankful. You got the unabridged preview of what I am sure will be symphony music by the time it's on Unfiltered tonight. And I'm not unsolicited volunteer to provide commentary because this matters. Listen, you know, guys, it is laughable. I see what y'all are saying, but I'm jumping out and spending time on this because we don't have a lot of Black journalists. We don't have a lot of Black media. We don't have no real Black-owned media. So if you're going to come for hours, you better be right or you going to get got. And today,
and the reason I'm laughing,
enjoying getting got.
The reason I laugh and the reason I crack up is a whole bunch of people today never saw me on CNN. I haven't been on CNN. I left CNN 8 years ago. Y'all, look, I don't mean no disrespect to any of the other people who are Black, who are on TV today. But y'all ain't seen nothing the way I used to gut them fools on CNN.
Somebody said, I don't know why they choose violence with Roland.
I'm trying to tell y'all. I got love for all of the Black people who are on TV today. But I'm just letting y'all know. Ain't nobody Black on TV today has gutted folk like I did for 6 years on CNN. I wish I had access to all those segments. If I could show y'all the one where I just embarrassed Glenn Beck. So why am I saying that? Y'all, I ain't never got on TV. There's never been a situation where I went on TV and I ain't had my shit together. I'm gonna give y'all this last one before I go work out. And literally, I'm putting my Under Armour on. I'm going to work out. Y'all think I'm lying. No, I'm going to work out. This is a true story, y'all. True story. CNN had hired conservative Eric Erickson, and he was with redstate.com. They made a real big deal out of them hiring. So his first night as a paid contributor on CNN was a State of the Union address. So we sitting there on CNN, and David Gergen is to my left, and I forgot who was to my right. Campbell Brown was standing, Wolf Blitzer was standing, Eric was on the other table. So Eric comes on, and I know Eric. We fine, but Eric can be very smug and arrogant, and so he's feeling himself. And he comes on, he's like, "Well, I don't know what that speech was. I mean, President Obama made no mention of small businesses in his speech." And I go, "That's a lie. What? I got the speech. I'm going through it." I'm like, "Y'all." So Campbell goes, "Eric, it looks like Roland Martin has a bone to pick with what you just said." I'm like, "Absolutely." I said, "I'm sorry. Can you explain to me what State of the Union speech you were just watching?" I said, "Because right here, Obama specifically mentions a small business in the state of Arizona. Here's the name of it. He mentions this small business and this one." I said, "So," and I said, "So can you explain to me how you came on the air and suggested and said," and I started waving, "Here's the speech." Y'all, he froze. I baptized his ass on his first night on CNN. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. So don't think for a second that Dan Abrams would gut me. You think Dan Abrams gonna shank me?
With
You
your
think,
own tweet, with
y'all,
your own tweets,
with my
like
own
a gotcha moment. But Roland, before you go work out, I want to add this to it because I believe in giving respect where respect is due. It is true that there hasn't been one colder on CNN who could do some gutting like you. But I want to add to that with a debt I can't pay, and I ain't even trying no more, and say that anybody pretty much who y'all seen who can do anything close to it since then, our origin story is somewhere in shows that were staffed, produced, guest packed by him. So if you like Angela Rye, get with him. If you good with Laura Coates, get with him. If it's Jason Johnson, she started with him. If it's Monique Pressley, my story is in him. If it's Yodi Tuolde, right, then it's him, because it's not just that he advanced himself, it's that he had an eye for talent that could do things in the earth, and he pushed us out. And we are doing exceedingly well, and there are all kinds of bloodied hosts and right-wing panelists who have nothing but sad stories to tell, but we got our chops on a show that had his name on it. So I am thankful and I am grateful, and
I ain't forgot about that debt though.
And I'll keep saying it because I ain't got no checks for you. You got money.
I ain't forgot about that debt. Now everybody, in the words of Frank Lucas, from American Gangster, I'm gonna get that money.
Yeah, and I'm good, Owen. It's such a thing as good debt. I got good debt. But y'all, hearts on the screen for the last time for the hardest working Black man as he goes. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Hey, Ray Whiting, I ain't about to have no more Kappa man. Trust me, y'all get embarrassed by A. Scott Bolden every single week. Yo, y'all can hit me at Cash App R Martin RM Unfiltered. No, yeah. R Martin Unfiltered. Cash App is R Martin Unfiltered. Yes. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at rolandsmartin.com. And then of course PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. So y'all hit me up. I'm going to work out. But yeah, y'all might want to be watching at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Not only because when I break this thing down with Dan Abrams, also we're going to be premiering tonight the first part of our 10-part docuseries on Ghana, 1619, the 2019, the year of return. So I'll see y'all later. All right, holla.
Bye. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for letting me air my grievances, get some stuff off my chest, bring my friends in so I can defend them when it's necessary. And really the thing that I want to make clear to you, the reason why it was necessary for me to end today's week in review with this and with this topic is because that's why I'm here. I am here because when I turn on the TV, cable news, digital news, mainstream news, I was landing myself saying, make it make sense. And it's things like this where, and somebody wrote in here, they were so busy. The objective of that show was a gotcha moment and some bickering. The objective was not even to talk about the very important subject at hand, which is how we can improve our police departments, how we can make our communities safer. That wasn't even in the landscape of what they were trying to do. And that's what we're trying to do here. We ain't gonna be going back and forth. I bring guests on here who have expertise, who have history, who have experience, and yes, they have a point of view, but when they have a point of view, it's based in facts and data. I call on my friends, I call on strangers, I call on anybody who knows what they're talking about so that we can make things make sense and you can go on with the information and live a better life. So, I used to have all the respect in the world for Dan Abrams. Some years ago, on his own channel, in his own magazine, he named me one of the top 10 lawyers in America. I appreciate you for that, Dan. But you're wrong. You're wrong. This is not what we do. This is not what we do. We shall make no scapegoats. It is very Tucker Carlson-ish to do that, to prop up a boogeyman on falsehoods and then tear down the boogeyman that you raised. And we will not allow for that. And that will not happen here. Will not happen. So that's all I have for today. I just have one more thing I want to show you guys because I told you we spent our first month, which is almost over, I can't believe it, where I'm doing the shows live and then I'm putting them in my Instagram feed and I'm putting them on Facebook. But we are transitioning to where they're going to be on YouTube. We're working. Please support our work. $Mo Press, or go to the link in my bio for my link tree for other ways that you can support. And I've seen, as I've been on here, some of you have been giving gifts and I appreciate it. No gift, too small, too great, anything is appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything, for sticking with us through this first 20 shows, for sharing with friends and family, for supporting us to the best of your ability, and for getting the word out. Because as you can see, we go to original sources here, for real, for real. We ain't playing about it. If it's something going on with Roland, I'm gonna talk to Roland. If there's something going on with When We All Vote, we're gonna talk to Stephanie. If there's something going on with Black Voters Matter, we got Cliff, we got Latasha, right? If there's something going on with the case that Ben Crump has, we talking to Ben. And we have more exciting things happening next week. I know I have been exceedingly long for Freedom Friday, but I pray that each of you access your voice, your space, your freedom, your God-given purpose, so that we can enjoy and celebrate and become better from your gifts. Help me help others by sharing this work and this mission. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.